Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aida Farhat. I have my guest, Rick Jewers, on today. I'm super excited. Welcome, Rick. Thank you for coming on to Conscious Heart Solutions. Very good. I'm going to share a brief bio of Rick and what he's doing, projects that he's working on, and then I'm going to open the show up for you to share with us, the guests and those that will be listening in, what exactly is GPMS World. I don't know what that stands for. We kind of did this spontaneously, which is great because that means that we're always coming from our heart space, and that's a loving place to be. Okay, so Rick Jewers is a son of creator sent to earth to assist overall with the ascension and individual empowerment of all, to raise out of the lower density. Femke, is that how you say it? I'm sorry.
Femke.
Femke is Rick's divine partner, and as a feminine, masculine, they are a feminine, masculine creator team. They work together, preparing individuals, humanity as a whole, the entire planet and the entire planet to ascend out of darkness. Rick is an ascended master that is bestowed with the applicable divine knowledge and tools to assist this dimension inclusively. The mission is to advance all human souls into a 5D state of existence and creating the heaven on earth scenario for all to enjoy. Rick has initiated GPMS World and is a guardian of the vehicle that frees humanity. And is a guardian of that vehicle that frees humanity and places them in a world of complete comfort, harmony, love, freedom, peace, and abundance. We would all love that. To list a few of the full benefits for humanity. And I appreciate everybody's patience with me reading your bio. Is a little choppy for me. And I got a call coming in, so that kind of interrupted me, but that's all right. We'll go ahead and move forward. Rick, welcome. Thank you for coming on to Conscious Heart Solutions. And I'm sure you'll do a much better job explaining and sharing more, elaborating on your experiences, who you're working with, Ascendant Masters. You are a self-acclaimed Ascendant Master. Is that what, I mean, please elaborate, share with us what you're doing and the projects that you've created and so forth.
Okay, of course. First, Ada, thank you so much for inviting me to your show and giving me the opportunity to purvey and share information with others. So I'm very grateful for that. And so having said this, I love the way you construct your shows. Just let it flow. That is perfect. As we know, that is in divine flow and universal flow. So I love that approach. And of course, this is the first time that we have ever done a show, but already I wish to say I'm impressed with that and love how you do your shows. So you're most welcome, and thank you. And indeed, you know, it's so important to construct them that way and just to let them flow and don't restrict them, of course. So I rambled on a little bit. What was your specific question? You asked I was a self-acclaimed or proclaimed ascendant master.
Right.
What I need to say, yes, it's self-proclaimed. However, it is also divinely proclaimed, meaning that I know who I am. I know what I am here to do. I know the divine mission, and I know the mission that I came here with to do. So it's both. Yes, I use that title because it is definite and it is part of at least my designation.
Can you share? Okay, so can we just go back? Okay, there's a lot of us that are aware of who you are and what you're here doing, or at least have some idea. of your humanitarian efforts and what you've been sharing, information you've been sharing with us for years. I'm one of those people that absolutely appreciate you, love you, and have, hold you in high regards. But there are maybe some that have no idea who Rick Jewers is, what you're here to do, and the humanitarian efforts that you have been working on for years to bring us together as a human family to help raise the bar a bit and get everybody on board with unity and so forth. So that's what ignited me. I myself watched Age of Truth, your interview, and it was very profound. I mean, there's a lot of information that you shared. It's important, I think, that we reach as many people as we can. And I often say, if I help one person doing this show, then I've done my service. So I'm not here to, I'm not looking for followers or subscribers. I mean, it would be lovely to have more subscribers, but people like yourself are important to have on the show so we can reach more people and letting them know that there are people working behind the scenes diligently to make a difference in this world so that we can live a more harmonious life. So please go ahead and share your thoughts on all of what I just said. I mean, who are you? What brought you here? When did you awaken to your divine mission? What happened? Were you contacted? There's a lot of talk about reptilians, Pleiadians, Arcturians, Lemurians. I could go on and on and on. You know.
Okay. So let me keep it simple. I'll condense 3 books, perhaps in a couple paragraphs. To keep it simple, let's say I was, how would you call it, unawakened to my true divine identity until I was approximately 47 years of age. I'm approximately 56, 57 right now. I don't look at age much, but I needed to mention that. So let's say I've been awakened for about 10 years, for a decade. However, with what I call awakened, uh, is, let's say I went through an awakening process, then I was absolutely awakened further when I spoke with Creator, given some of my memory back, but given the mission, what I'm to do here now. And it's very important. What we are doing is here in this now. We are ascending humanity forward, meaning that very little of the past pertains to this. So many may have had incarnations and what have you, but the answers are not in the past. And you don't want to really go there, or you keep looping the reality. So we need to be doing the new things, which is the ascension, and taking humanity forward into higher states of being and existing. And everything is indeed all about energy. That is creation. And energy is totally important to know the polarities of it, positive and negative, and also the genders, the masculine and the feminine, play an important role in what's occurring. And so, there's the process with what we call the inner work, the mastery of the fear and the dense
Guys, okay.
emotions.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that last sentence? We're having a little bit of choppiness with the internet. Could you repeat that last statement you made?
Which one was that? I was just rambling about.
You said something about the genders, the masculine, the feminine, and that the importance of what energies are playing out, I suppose. And then you got a little bit choppy, so I couldn't hear what you said after that.
Um, what I said
We're
was
talking about energy. So go ahead.
Yeah, well, some of the basics to give a better understanding of what's occurring. Everything is energy, and energy has a polarity of negative or positive or neutral. So what we tend to do is a negative energy is actually a dense energy. If we're to weigh it, it has a weight. So it is a lower
Mhm.
density energy. And when you look at positivity, when you're happy and positive, you're lighter. So to use that analogy of how energy is important, but the polarity of the energy. So this is what, let's say, we are contending with and mastering while we are here going through this upward ascension. So you have the polarity, and also you have the feminine and masculine, the genders to the energies, which are so important as well. And you have the balancing of these energies. And one reason why they are so important is, one of the, let's say, accepted beliefs within, which is correct, within a lot of the spiritual communities, is the mother aspect in this dimension. That, let's say, all creation, more or less, or most of it in the lower density, comes through the mother, the feminine. So it's seeded by the masculine and then comes into creation. But without complicating that further, you can see that at least a general understanding of how energy works assists one in their mastery of the fear and the negativity. And fear is a negative polarity energy. And why these are important is because it dictates the dimension that you are in, the state of being. It dictates the reality. So during the course of this ascension, this is why all have been put into their tests, um, to overcome the mastery of the fears. So they've been subjugated to them in whatever individual degree that they need it to be. Most are here are unique, although there are general themes that do occur concurrently on a mass scale, with a, let's say, a fear to be overcome. However, mostly it's on the individual level, and these fears and negativity needs to be overcome to allow for the upliftment. Now, it's not only an individual journey, there is the divine reason for this. For when you do your inner work and you raise your vibration, then you are joined with others. And this is where the unity comes into play to create the monumental shifts
Yeah.
forward into the higher dimensions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I agree with that. It's important that it can't, I mean, well, so I, the topic of the show is uh unity and self-responsibility, spiritual development and self-responsibility, right? And it's 222, by the way, which is lovely. Um, I always, yeah, I get synchronistic times often, but um, I think it's important. So, how would you recommend, or what would you say to those that are newly awakening, newly coming into, I, like yourself, I had my awakening in 2011, and I had to go through a serious dark night of the soul and become aware of some of my own darkness so that I could heal what was needed to be healed, forgive what was needed to be forgiven within my own self, and to move past a lot of the challenges I was going through. And I'm not completely, I don't think any of us ever arrive. I think it's a ongoing, there's never, you never arrive. There's always more to be unraveled and to become aware of and to move through, to shift into higher states of being and frequencies or energy. So what would you say to somebody that's newly awakening, that maybe having some of the experiences that you've already gone through, I've gone through, and a lot of other people in the spiritual arena, I would say, different communities, people have different thoughts and ideas of what that means as far as ascension and awareness and self-actualization and so forth. So I know I just said a lot, but I trust you'll be able to respond in a way that would be helpful to the listeners.
Okay. So anyone awakening today, what you are finding is that there's more available resources and knowledge to excel with. So it's not as difficult. Let's say, um, let's say we had waves that awakened, let's say 10 years ago, 2011, 2012. Well, this wave that awakened then has gone through much experiences in the last decade. So by going through the experiences, they also integrated into the reality and into the consciousness the remedy. So where that remedy has been already integrated, the know-how, how to do it, one's awakening today just have a vast arsenal of resources and tools to assist them forward. So
Mhm.
you had, it was a lengthy journey, for some 10 years ago. However, the ones awakening today just have so many available resources at their fingertips, meaning that, they're given what to do. If we look at it 10 years ago, many did not have a clue what was occurring. They found themselves doing, the inner work, but kind of oblivious as to the reason why they were doing it, and why it needed to be done. But there was support and divine reason for it. And there comes a point after, yes, you have mastered most of your inner work, you do not need to currently, you do not need to continue with that. This is an upward process. There comes the point where you have mastered and accomplished that, that then you reach another state of being where things are different, and you don't need to go back and do all of these things over and over and looping.
Right.
And this is what the ascension is, to raise one's human souls, if you will, out of the density and the repetitive looping that was going on with it. So we are raising humanity, at least what I call, to the first echelon of the 5D experience, where there is the peace, the love, the harmony, the prosperity, the abundance, and freedom that is shared by all. So this is what we're doing. We're transitioning humanity to this point. But of course, everyone is connected and plays a role in it. So they need to do the inner work to raise the vibration so that they can acclimatize and sustain an existence in this 5D state of harmony.
Hmm.
So there's a very important reason for it. There's great rewards that come. So you're not continuously doing this inner work. You're doing it for a definite divine reason. And once you have accomplished and mastered most of that, once you have attained such a level with your mastery, and if we're still here in the 4D timelines, then you assist others as well to bring them all up. For what occurs is that the way the divine mission is designed is that even though I have the full ability to leave this dimension right now, I cannot, as per my soul contract, as with all of the others like you, we have more or less signed ourselves in to accomplish this mission for humanity, that we do not leave until the mission is accomplished, and that's to get humanity out of the savagery here now and into the harmonious state. And this is not a, let's say, this is not a visionary quest or what someone envisions. This is the actual reality where we are going. This is what everyone has been doing their hard work for. And of
Right.
course, as you said, it takes the unity to get there. And with the gpms.world, that is our website, the GPMS is the vehicle to gather the voice to get us there.
Okay, so what does that mean? What does that stand for? Can you give us a, what is GPMF? What does that stand for? I didn't get a chance to look at it because I wasn't prepared for this, which is totally fine. I love coming in the now, just in this moment of creation, co-creating with you, Rick, and I'm very honored and thankful to have you here. So what,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yes. So what does that mean? What does that stand for? How can people get involved? And what are you requesting that people do? Because it's not just enough to raise your frequency. We have to put things into action, right? We have to take responsibility. We have to become, choose by our own decision to either get involved or if you choose to sit back and expect that somebody's going to do it for you, I think you'll find that you're going to be challenged, with realizing that nobody is here to save you, that you must at least put your best foot forward, right? Because I think a lot of
Absolutely.
people, we hear the Pleiadians or the reptilians are keeping us from ascending. You hear all this stuff. Let's speak to that just for a couple minutes, and then I really want to dive into what your project is about and how people can get involved. But what do you say to that? For those that are still putting out there that the reptilians are controlling the planet and the Anunnaki is coming, and I mean, what's your thoughts on all that?
Okay. What my thoughts are, each one can believe what they wish, but having said that, ones need to understand for the most part that you were dealing with the masters of deception, which were the masters of trickery, which were the darkness. Yes, they're very real. So, what you need to know is that they wrote many scripts and many beliefs and planted them here to keep ones distracted and to keep them disempowered and limited. So the
Mhm.
trick with this is to not get so entangled up into any limited, restricted belief. We are all taught here to empower the self, that you are the temple, do your inner work, and then you change things. It's that simple. And so, everyone's belief, it does have a purpose. And you can say there are false beliefs and true beliefs. However, they are all true, for they serve a value and a purpose. But the thing is, you have the choice. If you wish to stay focused on a disempowered belief, like you're saying about the reptilian or Anunnaki, well, what you're doing is disempowering yourself and letting that belief control you from raising up powers to do it. So, with this, and there are, let's say, with the Pleiadians and the Arcturians, these connections are very valid. They are here to assist with the Ascension as well. So you can say we are the boots on the ground, but we also have a interdimensional fleet, and we also have the angelics and the divine creator that assures this ascension gets done. And it does
Right.
get done. And anyone that thinks that it's an illusion, for example, since 2012, you would not have seen all of the information exposing the darkness and the way things really work. If the darkness had any power, you would not have ever seen that. You would have been asleep, controlled, and enslaved. So this essentially tells you that the darkness have no power, they could not conceal it, and that yes, we are ascending. So by knowing the truth where nothing is concealed, this is the way out, and it's happening, and more are awakening every day. And what I teach and what I suggest is just keep your connection straight to Prime Creator, or keep your God within. If you think you are the God, that is beautiful too, but empower yourself and your abilities. And it's common sense that one of the most empowering things is the virtue to create the purity. So watch your actions in your actions and keep as pure as you can with it. So these,
I absolutely agree with everything you just said. Absolutely. Well, I think that we're, uh, you know, this is just, I think about, in the mornings when I rise, I often say to myself, today's going to be a great day and I'm going to walk in integrity and love, kindness, and compassion in everything I do and those I engage to the best of my ability, being in this human vessel. We still have, the idea, I think there's a misnomer, or that's not the right word, but there's misleading for people to think, yes, you can get to a place where you are having more of a harmonious, grounded state of being and manifesting and creating quite, and I've noticed that my manifestations have gone
mhm,
up just in the past 6 months comparison
beautiful.
to what they were before. And I consider myself to be a pretty good manifester. Although what I want to manifest today, as opposed to my ideas of what I wanted when I was younger, is much different now, right?
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
right. So but I think you said it. Absolutely. We need to go within and understand our own self-actualize our own Christ at heart, our own Christ consciousness, if you will, our own, call it goodness. We don't even have to use the word, some people get triggered by the word Christ. We automatically, we are born with the innate knowingness of our true divinity. The problem is we grow up in religious structures and family and trauma and all the stuff that tells us we are not what we truly are, right? And people have, a difficult time making sense of that. And I often just say, just sit still, just put your hand on your heart and feel your heartbeat. There's something that's doing that for you. It's your divinity. It, and we are very capable of coming together and uniting, but people have to want it. I'm a firm believer of that. You have to truly have the desire, um, and the inspiration in your own self, and the willingness to step up and step forward, even if it's just holding a door open for somebody, helping your neighbor, buying a coffee for whatever it is. Small acts of kindness turn into bigger ones, and the more people that do it, the more we build the energy of this, and before you know it, we are, like you said, we have lifted our state of beingness as a collective to the point where we're ready to move into higher timelines, higher dimensions, so forth. Um, Thank you, Rick.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so can we talk about your project and what you're doing and how people can get involved? And
Okay. Yeah, of course. What I wish to say, it's not, I don't wish for once to say it's my project. It has my divine identity, my name on it as a guardian,
okay,
to
fair enough.
assure it,
Yeah.
to take it forward. But what it is, it's actually ours. It's yours. It's everyone that chooses it. It is all ours together. And so with the project is what it is the ultimate solution for humanity. And the GPMS at this point is the vehicle to gather all of the like-minded, all of the humanitarian groups, to unite them all together as one voice, tally up the voices, the signatures, and then what you create, let's say you get a 4 billion uh, person soul voice up here. When you have this voice that big, it is the biggest voice upon the planet. So then what occurs, because this voice is all united, essentially, and it is so huge that nothing can stand against what it wants. But
Mm.
what this voice wants is the complete comfort, harmony, peace, love, and abundance for every man, woman, and child upon the planet. So it is the complete bundle. Now, we call it GPMS because the title of it is the Global People's Monetary System and Simplified Divine Law. So what it actually is, it is also the template for the new reality, the heaven on earth, if you will, if you wish to use that. But however, first, what needs to occur upon the planet, as we know, the governments and the banks and the elitists, many have heard the figure of the 1% controlled the world, and they did that through money, is how they controlled the world, how they controlled the deprivation, the misery, the suppression of humanity, the oppression, the hindrance of humanity, and actually kept them in a savage state. So this is the 1% that managed to do that. And their main tool was money to do it. So we are here to create the opposite of what they created. They created all of the misery and the separation. We're going to create the unity and and the happiness and the full joy. So the way to do this, it's with the ownership of the main tool of society, which was money. So you need to shift that ownership from the 1% and place it into the hands of the 99%, which are the people. And the way to
Yeah, I was gonna just, if you don't mind, with all due respect, Rick, do you really believe that we are going to, we've been talking about this stuff for a long time, right? I know that we didn't get here overnight and it's going to take time to shift everybody, but I mean, people are talking about, the all the currency exchange and the uh different projects that are going on where people will be able to be funded in order to get their projects going, so forth, so on. And what?
Now,
What
all of that, see, that is where the problem was, why they could not get anywheres with it, because their projects was dependent upon the box, the system that the 1% owned.
Mhm.
Many have done this, all of these good intents for years, trying to create something within a power structure they did not own. It's because of the ownership of it. So to correct everything, you need to flip the tables on the money makers, if you will. You need to take that power away. And very simply, you create the voice of unity that takes it away. See, it needs to be understood that the creation of money begins with a thought. And with that thought, one then can think they need something outside of themselves, material or asset backed, to create a value. That is false. That is the illusion. You do not need to do that. So when you go back to the initial thought to make money, you understand that you are the intrinsic value because you are the creator of it, and it's unlimited. You can choose to create money unlimitedly. However, when you join all together, then we just create the one money for the people, which renders the old null and void and no power. Now, we are not, go ahead.
No, I was just scratching my face. I was tickled. My hair
Okay.
was tickling.
I
Yeah.
like to take this a little bit further. See, everyone needs to understand, let's take Gaia, the whole planet, all of the infrastructure that has been built here, everyone contributed to it. Every human being contributed to this.
Yeah.
So where they contributed, there is an actual ownership, a shareholder in all of this. So everyone upon the planet is actually a shareholder in creating all of that infrastructure. All of the infrastructure would not exist if there was no humans upon the planet.
Right.
So we create it. So we we are a shareholder in that. So what you do is by creating the voice, then you take the ownership of the entire system, but it's the people that takes it.
Well, I think a lot. I mean, so what do you say to? I mean, well, I have to pay rent, right? I have to feed myself. I mean, right now, the way the system is
Yeah, right
set up,
now, yes,
yeah.
yeah.
How do we move out of that? I mean, unless we own land somewhere where we can build and create, a lot of people we hear. I mean, I've heard so many different um, projects that have been brought to me, and they all absolutely what you're saying sounds very possible, and definitely you know um definitely possible. We could create that, but it's a matter of getting, I shouldn't say but, when enough people come together and say, okay, we're not messing around anymore, we're going to do this. But at the same time, people have to pay for roofs over their head, food on their clothes, food, clothes, take care of their families. How do we can't go from that to shifting into, I mean, or can we? Is there something I'm not getting? How do we go from that transition to using money as a ways to support ourselves and obviously use it as an energy or a currency outside of ourselves in order for us to uh sustain ourselves in this 3D reality while we are multidimensional beings. I know I operate from the fourth dimension. I know who I am. I know what I am. But everybody's not there yet, Rick. And we've been talking about this for a long, long time. And it doesn't seem like there's, and I'm not trying to sound derogatory or negative at all. I'm
That's
just putting it
perfect.
out there. Like,
Mhm.
how do we go? I'm definitely willing to put my energy and, into a project that I know is enough people are coming together. We could really get a foot and get things moving. It just seems like there's so many out there. Not enough people are coming together on one goal, right? Where we can get going.
Well, if I may, let's just take an overview of the planetary situation with the people that are not coming together, as you're saying. Let's look at what's occurring with them. And of course, let's look at the beautiful divine orchestration of the COVID theme, because this is so
Yeah.
important.
Okay. So we got to be careful about what we say so we don't have this, you know, we want to be able to upload this and get this information out to listeners on. So just be conscious of, we could talk about COVID, but I'm saying be, conscious of, let's not get into,
However, we
yeah.
must speak the truth, and nothing refrains me from speaking the truth. And
Okay, fair enough. I
so,
respect that. Absolutely.
thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I wish to say, let's just look at a few things with that, what it actually did. So number one, with all of the restrictions worldwide, it put many into a solitude state.
Mm.
where they had time to look at themselves and evaluate the world situation.
Absolutely.
So that was
Yes.
substantial in so much growth for once. But then let's look at what happened also with being restricted, not being allowed, let's say, out of their houses and being forced, coerced into some mandates that they did not agree with. And let's look at the absurdity of some of the restrictions that have been applied worldwide. I mean,
Yeah.
there were that distinct to strip every ounce of dignity from one's. So, having said this, you look at what that has done. What it beautifully has done is it has everyone questioning the old power structure, the authorities. And the truth is that the majority around the planet, perhaps 70%, does not support this old power structure. So
That's
the
right.
support, it's already divinely been done. So
Hmm.
the support is taken away. The millions of people, billions in the streets protesting, fighting for freedom. So you
That's right.
already have this. The stage is already set. So all we need to do, which we're doing, is unite all of these ones that are protesting that are not allowing their inalienable rights to be taken away. They're not being forced into the tyranny and the full prison state, but it's divinely staged that they do not, because it's these people that are here to make the change for humanity, and they're standing. You're seeing more and more of this every day. You're seeing, even within the system, military, police forces in different countries filing legal cases. You're seeing airlines filing cases. You're seeing doctors and nurses stepping back, filing cases, walking out, not supporting it. So
I
the old,
absolutely agree. I think it's absolutely, I definitely see a huge change, Rick, but I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm a bit overzealous, but I would have thought by now we would have been a bit further along than what we are as
well,
far as, yeah,
I know we all wish for it to be happening as quick as possible, but it is descending deep. So there's a deep dive because there is the comfort level. There's the complacent ones that
yeah.
are not doing anything. So it's going to dive deeper even to awaken them. And it's all
Well,
designed.
yeah, what do you say to those people that have decided to, go along with the status quo and continue to follow along
Well,
and so forth? I mean,
actually, like Ada, I don't speak with them. That's not the focus on the old. That's dissolving. They will come. It's
yeah,
important that we keep the focus on the
okay,
new
fair enough.
for
Yeah,
them. So
yeah.
I don't no, I
Well,
cannot
the reason
say
I
that.
say that is because I have family members. I mean, I will never uh acquiesce to their nonsense. I did in 2013. I took a flu shot and it disrupted my neurological system. And I
Mm,
knew not to take it. And I said no 1,000 times and turned around and took it one day. And I'm pretty confident that my star family helped me out and I was able, some things happen and I'm hoping that it is what I believe it to be. And I was able to get that,
cleaned
worked
out.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But you
But
had to see for yourself. And this gets back to your
yeah, it was
family.
horrid. It was horrible. It was horrible, Rick.
Mm,
I can tell you now, I was like this. I was shaking. The effects that it had on me from taking that flu shot was horrible. And I would not wish that on anybody. So, of course, that was a long time ago. It's been, 9 years. Thank God. It's been a while. Wait, 8 years, something like that. But I've done a lot, that I offer detoxes to people, ionic detoxes to help people get flush their system out and remove heavy metals and toxins and so forth from their body so that they can raise their frequency and make healthier choices and so forth. But yeah, go ahead. You were going to say about my family. What was that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah. No, you brought up a great example. You used yourself as the example. The only way to confirm to yourself that a flu shot was bad, you had to see and experience that it was. So this is the same as you speaking to your family that is not awake, or I speaking to the unawakened masses. You can speak to your blue in the face.
Right.
If they don't see, you're wasting your time. So you don't focus on those that are asleep. It's not
I
what we're
agree.
doing.
Yeah.
We're focusing and uniting all of those awake that are also of higher vibration, because this becomes the dominant vehicle of unity. And it also, with your family, then they actually quicker wake up, because you have a dominant awakened energy that is all unified, and it does make the difference on the
Sure.
planet. So
Absolutely.
it's I'm going to make this statement because it's true. It's imperative for every awakened one to know this and to unite and keep the focus on this new. You can not patch up this old system that was designed to control and keep you within the box.
Yeah.
You cannot create the new within this box. It's designed, the very basis and core of it is fraudulent. And that is not where we're going when you want the new world free of that.
Yes,
So
I agree. Absolutely.
yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you for saying that. I mean, for purposes of those listening that may not be there yet, that are shifting, they're definitely, some, we have different listeners. If we don't have live listeners, they definitely will be listening on my YouTube channel and on Soma Fusion. And of course, you're welcome to post it. People will listen to this conversation and this video at some point, and it will spark a light within them, plant a seed, and they're going to hear you. They're going to hear something that we both say, or what you have to say, and it's going to make a huge difference for them. They're going to have a light bulb moment. They're going to have that aha. Wait a minute, that's what he. Now I get it. If I focus on unity and coming together and getting active and involved, that it's going to. I'm going to contribute my energy into the collective for the highest good of all, rather than service to self, and come together. And even if it's, whatever it is that I'm able to bring, that I can bring something of value, which is myself and my energy, to contribute so that I can help in shifting this, getting us further along in where we're, I wouldn't say going, we already are. We just haven't crossed over that veil yet. I mean,
Hmm. Yeah.
I definitely experienced going into the fifth dimension and coming back down,
Yeah.
to be yeah. And so, Rick, I absolutely adore you. I appreciate you. Um,
No,
you're
thank you.
doing amazing things. I mean, I've been listening to you and others that are also, have the same energy and want to, we're people are doing their best to make a difference for sure, and some maybe at a greater effect than others, but you've been reaching the hearts of many for years, and I just want to say thank you again, because I appreciate you.
You're welcome. And again, thank you and all of the rest of us that are here doing this important mission.
Yes,
I wanted to do it on my own. Others, with good intent, wanted to do it on their own, but none of it succeeded because it takes all of us. It's
that's
the
right.
only way.
Yeah,
So within this voice, we're just collecting the voice. So let's say the GPMS is the muster point for unity to bring everyone together that's been working on all of these projects. And what occurs within the unity of bringing all of these leaders together in all of the projects is all of the solutions, the templates, the guidelines for it is already here upon the planet. It has been divinely arranged to be so. So now it's the time just to bring them all together, which makes the beautiful think tank that you need to take humanity forward. But you have all of the solutions contained within it. Now, when I fan out, what I am doing with my hands is this is the voice. The bigger the unified voice gets, you have doctors, lawyers, everything that is awakening, IT specialists that can create the new world. They are
Yeah.
awakening and they are here to do this. So the GPMS is actually right now the vehicle of unity to bring all of the project specialists together, all of the know-how united as one, and create the new world that is not like the old.
So how do we what would you suggest? Like, would people reach out to you, or is there go on your website and make arrangements to connect with you? How do we get everybody to come together and discussion? I mean, I'm willing to do it on my show. We could have a round table and invite different people. Would you be willing to do that? If I
Yes, I
okay,
and others of GPMS, that is guardians taking it forward. Yes, I and others will be as well. I don't, at this point, I've been, let's say, one of the main guardians, guaranteeing and assuring that it kept going forward. However, I wish to not, I don't need to be the part of it because it's all of us. So I wish for others to be sharing it and speaking it as well with that. And because it's all of us, and we are the ambassadors, the higher consciousness, the competence to do this for humanity. So what's occurring, it's not again a fantasy, it is all divinely staged and set up. Nothing is by chance.
I'm listening to everything you're saying. I'm looking
Yeah.
to see if there's any question from anybody.
What I
But
wish to
yeah,
say, yeah, that,
go ahead.
go to our website for anyone listening at gpms.world. What I suggest, take a half an hour, just silence yourself down, forget about the outside world, and just focus on reading the website, digesting it. Don't run over it quickly or you're going to miss things. But when you're on the website, look, I strongly suggest look at our comparison chart that we put, I believe, maybe 52 items. And what the comparison chart is this is what you have now. Like you, Ada, going to work and you got to make this money. So this is what you have now. And over here is the new world we create all together. So we put them side by side, and really it's no choice that everyone, man, woman, and child, will want this choice to make a vote. So anyone doesn't really need to understand it all. What they do need is to sign it. And you don't need to put a written autograph on the form, but you do need to, let's say, draw a smiley face is good enough. You need to show that you had an actual presence there because your vote of support is counted to create the voice. So we need everyone that it resonates with to support it. And it's just like a worldwide vote, but a vote of support. And the quicker we get the worldwide vote done, it is the real thing. Nothing can stop 7.5 billion people when they all want this, not the couple 100,000 of
But how do
government
we
that
make
are
it?
heavy.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm feeling quite eager to ask this question. How do we make it bring it into manifestation from the spirit world into the reality for it to play itself out, that we make sure that we have homes for every
Well, this
Yeah,
is the thing. It's no longer a spiritual thing. It's a real tangible thing.
well, I get that, but it
Yeah,
has
yeah.
to happen in the spirit world in order for it to become manifest in the physical. We know
Well,
that. I
it's
know that.
already,
Yeah.
we can say it has already happened there because it was in the hearts of so many to bring heaven to earth.
Yes, absolutely. I
So
agree.
it's
Yes.
why we are here. We all wanted it. So when ones look at, they know they're here for a mission. It
Hmm.
was to create the best world for all. So this is it, what we want. And it is right here. It's materially within reach now.
What do you say to people that say, well, I don't know that I'm comfortable with signing because that's a spiritual contract and I may be agreeing to something I'm not fully aware of? There are people that think like that. I definitely,
Well,
I mean,
again, what I do is I don't, if a few have reserves, I don't focus on that. Again, our focus is the biggest voice
sure,
upon the planet. So
yeah,
you can spend years trying to appease and accommodate everyone's situation. And
right.
yeah, when no, we got also on the website frequently asked questions. Ones can, if they got questions, it may be answered in there. But to understand, not to complicate it for yourself, not to have any trust issues, you can look at it as just signing a petition or voting. People do that every day. There is
Sure.
really not a big deal with it per se.
Well, I'm definitely a supporter of your mission. I mean, I definitely would love to participate, and if it means my signature, that is going to assist in getting us to move forward and helping the collective, and especially the children. I mean, I think about the children more than I do. You know, us adults have a little bit easier. We're able to navigate and make choices for ourselves, but there are so many children out there, Rick, that don't have, they're either in foster care or they're in these program,
Absolutely
yeah.
ridiculous.
And
It is
yeah,
savage.
yeah.
Yes.
It's heartbreaking. I mean, it had me, my nerves were really bad. I mean, when I had my awakening and had to come through some of my own darkness and realize, what I was participating in or what I had been participating in, and choosing to turn my life around and to clean up my own backyard, so to speak, instead of looking to point fingers or blame anything or anybody outside of myself. It took a whole lot of sitting still and getting silent and really coming to terms with my, and balancing my own self and forgiving myself, more importantly, and others, just really that whole inner work, the things
Mhm.
that happens when you have an awakening like I did. I had a Kundalini activation. It was, uh, and then I fell back into some old behaviors because of I allowed fear and confusion and not wanting to be responsible for my own well-being. Or it's not that I consciously didn't want to be responsible, but because of habits, I went back, but I was quickly able to pull myself back up and say, okay, I'm not going back. This ain't happening.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is
Well,
going to be, yeah,
so if I may, so I love this that you are a witness of your manifestation ability as well as
absolutely.
I. So
Yeah,
you've done the work, you confirmed the more work you did, the more you could manifest for self. However, the outside world still existed where children were dying, being abused.
right.
So so that is why this entire mission is not um, a selfish
Yeah,
mission.
yeah,
It is a selfless mission.
right.
I could have stayed. I was in Canada, if you will. If it was just Rick, if it was about me, I was, doing a beautiful existence. But it's not about Rick. It's not about the individual. It's about the entire planet. And
Right.
I can create all day, manifest uh, to what I am allowed to have. but yet the outside world does not change. And like you, that does not set well with us, that we
Mhm.
got to do something. But this is because in our souls, we are the ones to do it. All together, we are the savior. There is no one savior coming and save everyone. The savior is within us all. And that's why it takes the unity to create the savior that does it, that takes us to the new world. And it's right on our doorstep. And with this voice, collecting this voice, it can be done in, I'm saying, a couple months. That's how quick it can be
Well, I
done.
definitely agree with you. I mean, once we make our mind up and well, just like our own individual manifestation, once I make my mind up, I give something some thought and I imagine what it is I want to create for myself. And like you said, what I'm allowed to have, what I'm bestowed, what I can be responsible for, because you can't have that cut. I definitely know this from my own experience. If you don't know how to manage your power, it will quickly be taken from you.
Yes,
Yes.
you
And I
cannot
had that
abuse it.
experience. I didn't
Exactly.
understand what I was being blessed with. And I'm okay with it because surely I don't want to walk around, you know, not right. So I know that
Absolutely.
I had a good experience of how powerful I am. And I don't say that with
Okay.
arrogance or yeah.
Now here's what I love. See, let's look at it this way too. With this unity, you're a powerful co-creator. So am I. But
Yes.
let's say, and let's look at this, perhaps what we had heard before, that let's say one powerful co-creator actually can affect millions upon the planet.
Right.
So when we look at that, we don't need the entire planet to take this forward. We only actually need created a small unity, and very quickly it is reflected in the lower reality and begins to change it, and everything is attracted to it. So let's say up here you have, let's say you've got 10,000 powerful co-creators that even have their kundalini activated, because that goes with that. When you got that many up here, we could just have a small number of 10,000, but it's already occurring. It affects and implodes the lower timeline, and it begins to attract more and more, because this is the positive, divine, supportive energy. So we don't per se need the entire population to move things. We only need
Well,
a
I
certain
definitely agree with
percentage.
that.
Yeah.
I'm going to take it upon myself, uh, with your support to your, I would invite you to send me on Messenger, if you will, you and your beloved, any guests that you would like for me to reach out to I will speak to Katie, my producer, Soma Fusion, and we will create a roundtable of, let's say 5 or 10 people come together. Everybody can bring some solutions, one or two of their, it doesn't, that way everybody has an opportunity to share something that either they'd like to be able to contribute or something that they can do to for in their towns, how to bring more people. We need to educate people, more people on the project, Rick, so
Mhm.
that more people get involved and put their energetic signature in, is what I'm saying. That
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes. And this is the thing, spreading the awareness, letting them know what exists. In this most dismal times, for the ones awakened, they don't think they have any hope. So they're giving up all of their rights, being suppressed. But now is the time also that we show this through the information streams, the social, just keep putting it out, and they'll see it. And when they see it, it begins to change things, on the energetic level with them, and it begins their alignment with it. But what I need to say is, on the site, we have the consent, the consent form where you actually vote and put in your smiley face, your name, or what have you. But with that, what we are doing right now is we are also putting in the decree of the inalienable rights, which are basically your essential rights, but we are putting that as part of the consent. Now, these same fundamental rights are the same rights that were supposed to be protected with the UN Declaration of Rights, and many other instruments, that your constitutions, where they were not. But however, when you sign your consent, there is a decree we are putting above it so that you also activate or become aware of your inherent rights that you have just for being a human. And also, when you do that with the voice, what it's doing, because it's very strongly needed at this time, you are also creating a huge voice worldwide that is saying no to any infringement upon these rights. And people need this now. They don't know that they have any rights. They're reaching out, they're uniting, making law cases and all of this, but they need to know that once we join together, all of their rights are protected and no one can take this away. And in reality, the way it's been, yes, their individual rights may have been violated upon, and it will continue unless we create this huge unified voice that will not also allow this to happen. It will not allow it to happen because where it's happening, that old reality implodes. It takes the power away from everything. Now, during this transitioning, what you're seeing, as I mentioned earlier, is within any country, you're seeing the police force within a country, you're seeing the good cops separating, not supporting the government agenda. So you're seeing the division within the police forces and within the military. Now, where you're seeing this separation in division, it's showing you the old power structure is getting smaller and smaller. It's no longer supported. So these are also indicators that the new society is coming and that everyone is waiting for it. So the main thing with GPMS is to get the awareness out, get everyone to sign. But our main focus is on now the big groups. We also have a place, let's say if you have a sovereign community of 40,000 people, and if your community agrees, you can have one representative comes in and said, I am a chosen representative of these 40,000. I am signing, put 40,000 numbers, votes into it as well, which creates the voice very quickly. And we have these huge numbers. When you look at what's going on, let's take London, UK. What has been occurring there with the protests, over 1 million
Oh my.
people. But,
Yes.
but this is important. Where you're seeing 1 million in the streets, you're only seeing the tip of the iceberg of how many are awakened. You
Yeah.
need to know there's many in the countrysides that perhaps they don't have the vehicle to get there. There's even many in the cities, in the living there, that's looking out, but for one reason or another, they're just watching the show yet. But they are actually on side with the protesters.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's happening.
So
I mean,
you're seeing,
look at France, look at Australia, the
yeah,
nonsense that's going on in Australia is just
it's
absolutely,
totally unacceptable. And
absolutely.
I need to say, Ada, again, if
Rick, it's
any of the
Ida, by the
government,
way.
oh,
Ida.
Ida,
Yes.
okay, Ida, thank
It's
you.
okay. It's
What I
okay.
need to say again, yeah, with any of the governments worldwide, to be allowing that to happen is ridiculous. It shows you these governments are all part of a clique that are actually condoning uh, the extreme violation to human rights. So it
Yeah.
shows you what their intent is.
So, well, I think
Yeah.
at some point, I surely do not, I don't believe in war. I don't uh think it's necessary, obviously, for political
No, no.
reasons. And, unfortunately, religion has been one of the biggest causes of war. My God's better than your God, that kind of nonsense. I'm being facetious. I'm just saying. It's like these ideals that people get.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You want to say something?
No, thank you for bringing that up. So with GPMS, there is no distinction or discrimination between religion, belief, race, color, what have you. Anyone is invited and a part of it. Began to be something like what the old was, and we no longer want that. So there is no discrimination. Everyone that supports this to be a part of it, you have your beliefs. Everyone has their beliefs, and it's respected. And we are coming together for the one common goal for humanity. Now, with the children are so important to this now and the future. With GPMS, every child's vote counts the same as yours and mine, anyone's.
That's pretty.
So,
Yeah, I didn't know. Well, that's nice. I mean, that's lovely to know. Yeah, definitely, the children have a voice. I think parents think they own their children. We're given their property of their parents and not given their own voice, being able to speak up and say. Now, I wouldn't suggest. Small children are not. I don't know that they're aware enough or emotionally mature enough to be able to make those kinds of decisions for themselves. But I'm not against it either. I'm just saying that's something to consider. Um, but yeah, with the
well,
guidance of their parents, I'm sure. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
The, yeah, the guardians are there to choose for the child. So
sure,
this means when a child is 1 second old, the parent, as the guardian, has every right to put their vote on there.
sure.
It's
Right,
that simple. And
right.
also, for the first time ever in a worldwide referendum or vote, all of the children can vote. And when you look at most societal structures around the world, you know, the children had to be over the age of 18 to vote. So
Mhm.
when you look at from a child from 1 second old to 18 years old, the statistics for around the world, there is almost 2 billion children. So this is very important as well, that they have a
Oh,
voice
Rick, when
and
I
vote
just,
in
yeah,
this.
it
Yeah,
it just hit my heart when you just said 2 billion children, and I think of so many children that do not have what they need.
exactly.
It's heartbreaking to think about it. I mean, I
And
don't I don't allow. I used to sit and uh I had a real tough time for a few years. I would say at least a couple of just really just heartbroken with everything that I was becoming aware of. Of course, it was devastating to me. I don't sit in that now. I don't choose to do that. I choose to share my love and my vibrant heart with children. They come to me. Uh, they come to me like that. Animals, they
yeah,
know.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And uh, but there was a time when if I saw a child, even with a man that didn't look right, like automatically my
Hmm.
mind would go,
Yeah.
is that child being harmed? I
Mhm.
don't do that so much anymore. I think I've been able to kind of move past that, thank goodness, because it
Mhm.
was just, it,
But it
it
was it
it's
was
it's
prevalent out there.
overwhelming.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm so thankful that people like yourself and so many other people. I know a lot of people. I talk to people behind the scenes a lot. I do my own little bit that I can with information and just sharing love. I talk with a lot of young women in my area. People are doing things to be of service however they can. It's important, but I would love to be a part of a bigger connection, a bigger scale, be a, and help however I can with you and your beloved and the people that you're working with. We are getting close. We have about 7 minutes left before I have to go, because I do have clients this afternoon. I need to
Yes.
go back to my office, but please share the name of the website, how people can get in touch with you. If you think of, I definitely want to put a round table together. I'm going to reach
Yes.
out to a few other people, see if we can, co-create something together and come together and just have an open discussion, and see if we could come up with a unified agreement and solutions and how to get this thing moving forward,
Um, Perhaps what I wish to say, so then at this time, when ones are signing up to GPMS, there is also a volunteer contributor form that if
Okay.
ones wish to assist, then they can do that. And then we have a group of approximately 400 contributors. However, there's perhaps less than 100 that are active, but these are a contributor group that at any given time, there's about 400 that can come in to spread awareness as well. So anyone wishing to volunteer and assist at spreading the word, and we're working on some projects with some memes, the groups are, and getting the word out. So anyone can sign the contributor form and be part of our groups we have. For the main part, ones can contact me on Facebook. However, we are focusing now on the big groups to get the big names in line here, the big groups to get on board, to get united now. So on an individual basis, it's best that, anyone just go read the site. And if you are an individual or for your family, read it and then sign with it if it resonates with you. But if
Well,
there's
we'll
anyone
definitely
watching,
make sure that all your information is put underneath the video when it goes up on YouTube.
yeah,
Katie has already posted your information when we did the promotion. They have your website. I encourage anybody that's listening or will be listening in. I don't normally get a lot of live listeners, but I do get people that goes to my channel, which is
yeah.
Conscious Heart Solutions under Aida Farhat, where this will be uploaded. Please have a listen. Listen to what Rick is offering here for people to get involved, get active. People talk about, well, what can I do and how can I contribute? Well, this is an opportunity to do volunteer work, to share information, share his website on your page, invite people to have a look, to sign the petition, to get active and involved. I will make it my business I don't know how soon we'll be able to do it, but I definitely would like to invite you back, maybe with your beloved at some point. Also invite a few if we can get a round table going. I'm not actively involved in any one group or I contribute when I can, how I can. So I don't have an official website of my own that I'm doing. I don't have any problem contributing and helping on a collective in a way, with different groups, however I can. But I really would like to see us come together, like what you're suggesting.
Thank you.
Unity is
Yeah.
so important right now. And the more of us that come together, and there are no big chiefs and little Indians. We don't have to see things that way. There are people that have skill sets that others don't, and everybody has something to
Contribute.
contribute.
Yes.
That's right. So,
Equally as the big
right,
community, we all contribute to it.
right.
Yes.
So let's do that. Rick, thank you for coming on the show today. Thank you for coming on Conscious Heart Solutions. I appreciate you. I want you to know that you are seen. We see you. We appreciate you. I do for sure. You'll hear from me again in the next month or two. I'll see if I can, I'll reach out to a few people. If you have any recommendations on maybe a couple people that you'd like for me to invite to come along, that would maybe be interested in being part of a roundtable, just send me the information on Messenger, and I'll be glad to reach out to them for sure. And we'll see if we can put something together. See if we can get this thing rolling a little bit quicker. I'd love to see, say, 20,000 more people sign up by the end of the year. That'd be
Oh,
that'd be a good goal to go after.
well, but I have to say that can happen in the blink of an eye.
Well,
We're
I
at
agree.
the verge of the viral. It's
All right,
beginning.
well, let's go viral.
Yeah,
I'm
that's what
willing
we
to help
want.
you.
Yeah.
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 So, okay. I don't mean to rush off. I definitely need to, yeah. So thank you for coming on. I'll make sure that this video gets to you so you can share it on your page. People, go to Rick's website, just have a read. Don't rush through it like he recommended. Take some time, read a little bit, come back to it if you need to, but see if it's something that resonates within your heart. Sign the petition, invite others, share it on your page. Let's get this thing going.
Thank you, Ida. Yes,
Yes.
indeed. And
Yes.
yeah, this can happen very, very quickly. So
Yeah.
spread
Well,
the word.
we'll see how it goes. Yes. Yep. I'm going to call it forward. Let's get it going viral. We're going into September. You got October, November, December. Let's see what we can do before the end of the year.
I like to say I don't think we have so much time. The lower timeline is squeezing and dissolving very rapidly. So
Okay, well, I think September is going to be a huge month for all of us. I don't
Yep.
think I know that. I know September is going to be huge for all of us.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, but I'm pretty confident some big changes are definitely taking place. So let's come together. Let's unite. We don't all always have to agree on everything, but we can agree that people like yourself, myself, most of us that are awake and aware, we want to see everybody have their basic needs taken care of. We want to be able to come together in love and unity to co-create and manifest heaven on earth. We could start in our own lives, in our own personal lives, and we can share it out and invite others to join us. Yep.
Yeah, with the GPMS, it's comfort. It's above basic needs as well. I just wish to say that.
Well, that's fair enough. That's
Once they
even
look,
better.
yeah,
Definitely.
once they look at the site, and see what it is, and
there we go. Yeah, I haven't personally been on there, but I definitely will make it my business this evening to have a look and read, and I'll be reaching out to you soon, Rick. I appreciate you coming on. I love you, brother. Have a wonderful night, and we'll get together again soon. Very good. Thank you.
Love and light. Much gratitude.
Love and light to everyone. Woo! Thank you so much.
Unity.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye now.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.